The last thing that I wanted to bring up is I would make a motion that the interim city administrator, that's tomorrow, will be his last day. The reasons for that are not acting consistent with council direction and directly going against city council decisions, for example, made last week about the job description and resurfacing that. He has also appeared to be dealing with me in a threatening manner. I don't think it would be wise to do. It was not at a council meeting. And I think this creates exposure to the city. And I think we already have enough legal exposure due to things that you've been saying about people that have applied for jobs. I think we've got enough legal exposure with some of your statements that have been in the paper and defaming residents that have applied for jobs or might apply for jobs. So that's my motion, is that tomorrow will be the last day. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Shouldn't we have discussion on that now?
Sure.
I'm done.
Is this really a wise course of action? This man came here to try and help us come along to a system. We're basically setting ourselves up for kind of a repeat of Nightmare 1 from this year. And the league is watching. Tomorrow they'll be listening to the audios of this meeting. Now,
that's good.
Is this really an intelligent course of action? Is this what's in the best interest of the city?
Mike, the reason I proposed it is because I think it is. So
I understand
you're
that.
asking a rhetorical question.
We're in discussion
and
now.
I gave you my reasons.
Well, I think we're going down a very, very precarious road, which I'm not surprised we're going down, but this is not what's in the best interest of Greenfield. And I don't think, in the end, we're going to go through a little dance and a little wiggle here, and we're going to come to a conclusion that virtually everybody in this room already knows.
Okay, Lauren, any comments?
I think it's kind of stupid. I mean, if the guy was a jerk, it'd be fine, but he's a fine gentleman. And you want to throw him out the door. I mean, God, woman, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Lauren, would you not, I mean, you're a little bit sexist there in your language and with your comments about stalking me and then coming into the ladies' room when I was in there at the last meeting. I think
you know why I came in there? Because that toilet runs over, and the septic system, I came here last summer one time, it was that far from the top from running over, because that toilet had run for a week.
Civilized people knock on the door, Lauren. They don't come into the ladies' room.
Well, I didn't even know you was in there. If I would have known you was in there,
I
would have stayed away from there. Believe me.
Oh, my God.
It's a week early.
Yep. Oh, my God.
I personally had an issue with the letter that was sent, the memo that he sent to the Planning Commission. That wasn't directed by council to do that. Planning Commission was supposed to address that issue. I felt his memo tainted their decision. So,
Memo in regard to what, Mr. Veldman?
the decision on the so-called ditching expenses.
He gave him his interpretation.
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be getting opinion? He is the acting administrator.
This Planning Commission was directed to
By
form
council.
an opinion, to present their what's the word? Recommendation based on the events.
Yeah.
And I feel this letter tainted their decision.
Really?
I disagree.
That's fine, you disagree. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, okay.
I'd just like to say one thing. Thank you, sir, for your service. You are a gentleman. You are everything that you were sent here to be. And basically, we're acting out the way this council acts out.
Well,
and I apologize.
I guess I would like to bring up one thing. And Bob was at the meeting when we met with the league and talked about what we wanted from an interim city administrator, and one of the things we talked about, the question came up, as council makes decisions and they're not unanimous, how do you handle that if it's 3-2? And it was stated by, I can't remember exactly if it was Bob Thistle or who said it, but gee, it's majority rules. Well, we had a majority council direct the interim city administrator to do tasks that he directly did the opposite. And that is not supporting the council. It does not matter if he personally agrees with it, but when council votes, you don't turn around and do something different.
What specific
It's,
So-
it's very normal,
so-
Madam Mayor, for an administrator to advise
This
the
was
bodies
after,
in the city
Mike,
in regard to issues, and him looking up
Right.
this information in regard to that ditching, when we have a situation, that's what he's supposed to do, and he's supposed to give a recommendation. And normally, a council would be very appreciative to get the recommendation, and if they have an administrator worth his salt, most of the time they'd probably take it.
Mike, that's not what I'm actually, the instance I'm talking about. I guess you missed what I said earlier. So, Mark, any comments?
You got your script there?
My comments are is that Jim has sent a letter out that he's put his notice in for, I guess what would it be, quitting?
Resign.
So, based on your motion, is that it'd be premature by what, 1 week or?
Yeah, tomorrow will be the last day. Wrap things up and turn them over to
A week
whoever.
before,
If I might just mention the council, I think the agreement had a 2-week provision in there, which Mr. Willis exercised his end of the 2 weeks. We have a 2-week provision as well on the other side.
Well, but he's already resigned. I guess I'd be willing to modify that motion. If we need to pay him the minimum hours, pay him and be done.
Is that the way you're going to lower taxes?
That's
Just throw the money out the door?
Lauren, there's been money wasted on doing things over against council direction. So,
Specifically, what were those?
That's
So-
all right.
this,
so I'll make that first motion, and that's my recommendation as far as if we need to deal with the contracted minimum hours, then we can address that as a second motion. So all in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
I guess legal opinion, Scott, as far as the 25 hours minimum, I think in the contract.
Yeah, well, I'll
Okay.
have to look at the language. and
Okay,
see.
because I'm willing to make a motion if we need to do that, to pay that. So,
Okay, to pay him to look it up.